Or of Kyle?
Knockouts and 3 counts.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Well, Kyle always got to say it, man. Damn.
It's a little thing that we do, man.
It's a bit, bro.
It's our bit, man. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has to have a bit.
All right.
But we're here.
All right.
Once again, brand new episode of Knockouts and 3 Counts. Let's go ahead and do these intros real quick because we have a very special guest on the line. I definitely want to give him an opportunity to share his thoughts. So, Mr. Thunder, why don't you go ahead and
That's me.
Yes, that's you. Why don't you go ahead and throw your social media out there and all that good stuff, man?
Go to the website and find it. Randy knows it better than I do. All I know is I'm Tony Thunder. You can find me on Facebook at Tony Thunder. You can find me on Twitter as Tony something Thunder, or it's Tony Thunder, or I'm Tony Thunder, or something like that. You can find me on Instagram at Tony_Thunder. Google me or something. Go to the website, koc3pod.com, and find out what it is.
Yeah, do that shit.
Mr. Collison, why don't you go ahead and throw your shits out there?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Detroit Knockout, at Detroit Knockout. Find me on Facebook at Kyle Collison.
And real quick, why don't you give the details about our show that we're doing on the 14th, sir?
We will be live from the TXC fights that are going to be now at the Burton Manor. They were supposed to be in Novi Suburban Showplace, but we will have as our guest next week. We're going to have Manib Al-Samni on the show, as well as Marco Smallman are going to be in studio with us. We'll be live from the fights. Come check it out if you want to see somebody get their ass whooped.
Alrighty. And I am Devin McKenzie. You hit me up on Twitter at Devin63. That's DEVINTHE63. You can check me out on Instagram at All Steak No Sizzle. That's one word. And if you're looking for a car,
oh, shit, here we go.
Check out SouthfieldQualityCars.com. Check out the inventory. And when you go in there to purchase your vehicle, use the reference code 19309. That's 19309.
1939.
Alrighty. Kyle, why don't you go ahead and introduce our guest that we have on the line, sir?
So with us tonight, we have Team Alpha Male Zone Vince Murdoch. Vince is originally from here in Michigan, and he's been around the local scene around here for a little bit. So it's cool to have you on the show with us, Vince.
Thanks for having me, man. Happy to be here.
And Vince, why don't you go ahead and throw your social media out there and anything that you have going on. You have a fight coming up, any sponsors you need to plug. Why don't you go ahead and do that now?
You can follow me on just about everything at Vince Murdoch, VINCEMURDOCK. And I'm looking for a fight. I'm always ready, always actively looking for something. So I wish I had something to announce right now. I'm just battling. I'm fighting the Indian Commission right now. But other than that, I'm just chilling.
All right. Kyle, you wanna start us off, man?
So, as anyone that follows the show knows, we've been posting about this for a little bit around the week. How about you give us first of all, give us a little bit about your background. I let everybody know as we were hyping the show, that you're originally from here, from Michigan, but now you're out there training at Team Alpha Male and all that stuff. Give us a little bit about your background and your career so far.
Originally from Michigan, I started training at Fight Club Proving Grounds under Joe B. Battaglia. I've never been able to say his last name. Ben Lagman, and then I met Darren. I lived with Darren for a long time. Crookshank and Cody. We were roommates for a long time. Darren went to the Ultimate Fighter, and for the live season with Uriah as the coach, he introduced me to Uriah. We went and visited Team Alpha Male, and the plan was never to move out there. It was just to kind of see where I stood in kind of an overall, in the real sport of MMA. Because, at the time, Michigan was still, maybe it still is, but it was developing and there wasn't any real big gyms. Me and Darren didn't have a gym yet, and it was just us. So I was curious to see how I stacked up against some of the best in the world. And when I went out there, I was offered an opportunity to move there, and I just kind of never came back. It wasn't something that I intended to do. Some people, give me a lot of crap for moving and feel like I abandoned them, but I feel like I was given an opportunity to train at the best, what some people consider the best gym in the world. So it is what it is. I feel like I've found a place here at Team Alpha Male, and I still am very close to Darren. So I think that's all that really matters to me. Anybody else can say what they want. If anything, I haven't abandoned Michigan, so
Not at all, man. I mean,
and then
that's. I mean, there's a whole list of guys that have left from there now.
Care.
Well, let me.
Leaving's nothing personal. It's just something that I felt like I feel like I was offered an opportunity to do something cool, and I took it. That's
You're
all
just trying
it
to
is.
better yourself. There ain't
nothing
shit
personal.
wrong with
I didn't have a falling out with anybody. Like I said, me, Darren, and Cody are still best friends to this day. So yeah.
So let me ask you about Team Alpha Male real quick. A lot of people think of that as probably one of the best gyms for your lower weight fighters, which you fit into that category. What was it about Team Alpha Male that appealed to you, and what is it like working under guys like Castillo and Dillashaw when he was there, Garbrandt and Uriah Faber?
When I moved out here, it wasn't so much the training that stuck out. Obviously, they train hard. They probably train a little bit more. But it was more like watching the way that these guys live their lives outside of the gym. Like Uriah, who's a very upbeat, positive person, and watching him just work his work outside of training was pretty inspiring. And then being able to have an opportunity to kind of like shadow that, I guess, because when I first moved out here, I basically lived with him, and until he found me a place, and I was just very fortunate enough. It felt like an awesome opportunity to surround myself with people that were in positions that I wanted to be in, and it was interesting, man. The whole atmosphere here was really cool, and it wasn't like this bully mentality that some gyms have when you come there. They try to beat you up. It was actually the opposite,
right?
And that's, I guess, kind of what stuck out the most. Training under these guys, it's funny. It's Cody originally came and stayed with me, and I helped move Cody from Ohio. So I always find that interesting. People are always asking me, like, act like I don't know who Cody is when I kind of help bring him out here.
Right.
I won't say that I took, like, I'm not going to claim that I'm the reason he's out here. He ventured out here on his own, but I had a huge hand in making sure that he stayed and getting him a place to live and living with me and stuff. But yeah, man, it's awesome. There's so many instructors here, so many knowledgeable people. I'd say Chris Holdsworth really stands out. The guy isn't just a jiu-jitsu guy. The guy really studies the game and knows all aspects of the sport. Castillo, that has just been around. Same thing, you know what I mean? All these guys have just been in the game so long, they know what works. They know it's a new generation. They're not stuck in, old ways or, we're always adapting. And I think Team Alpha Male is good at being ahead of the curve or helping the sport adapt. We're always, right there. I feel like Faber had a huge part in, building the lighter weight fighters in the WC and then evolving into the UFC. I feel like he was kind of a poster boy for that.
Right.
So I just feel like this gym in general, with Benavidez and Dillashaw and all these guys, kind of help, build the lighter weight division and help, put some, shine some light on it. And it's just kind of cool to be a part of it.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, let's
didn't mean to ramble on.
Well, no, you're right. But let's go ahead and jump into the big reason why you're on the show. You being.
Hold on, wait. Before we get into that,
before
we get into that, I just kind of want to say one thing, man. I don't know if it's just me, and I don't mean no disrespect by this at all. Because I know for damn sure I wouldn't want to fuck with this dude. And the reason I say I wouldn't want to fuck with this dude, no, hear me out. The reason I don't want to fuck with this dude, because his voice. Is it just me, or is it the baddest motherfucking fighters in the world got the lightest voice? Like, you look at Mike Tyson in his prime, you look at Silva, like, they all have light voices, and this dude's voice sound like he will beat your ass. Like, is that just me? Or, like, do you hear that a lot or what, man? Like, do you hear that a lot?
What?
No, I can't say I have.
That was out of left field like a motherfucker, dude.
I just wanted to throw that out there, man. I don't know if anybody noticed, but, like, the baddest fighters of all time all got light voices. Like, think about it, man. Think about it.
Hey, I've seen some of Vince's fights, man. I wouldn't fuck with him off of that alone. So
I've been there cage side for a bunch of his fights. He's fought a few of my teammates a few times.
Kyle was there.
Take a shot.
But let's go ahead and jump into the big reason why you're on the show. You took a fight. Well, you took a series of fights over in India for the Super Fight League, which is affiliated with MTV as well. First, how did that opportunity come along for you to even go over to India?
So I had a buddy that's originally from Michigan. I'm not sure if I should mention his name, but he lives in Dubai now, and he was offered an opportunity to bring 3 Americans to the show in SFL, and it sounded like, you know, to me, I Googled the show, and it looks as professional as can be.
Oh yeah,
and like a really super exciting opportunity. It's owned by Amir Khan.
Is that the
MTV.
boxer Amir Khan?
It was on ESPN. Yeah, and it was on ESPN last year. The setup, the quality of it looks amazing, right?
Right.
And I know the sport is still developing out there, so I was looking at an opportunity to go out there because I knew a tough thing because they told me I could fight up to 5 times, and I know it'd be difficult to guarantee 5 wins. So I didn't want to just throw myself against a bunch of tough guys. I'm not saying I thought these guys were any easier, but I was confident that I could go out there and win as many fights as I was able to compete for. And then when I got there, that just was not how it was, man. It was just not that. It was a very, very, unjust and crooked organization.
So, yeah, I listened to a couple of your interviews, and you were saying that, basically it's corrupt over there. So my question is, do you think that is corruption, or do you think it's just the fact that they don't have that much experience with MMA over in India that it's just a shit show?
I thought that too at the time. I was like, man, maybe these guys are just really bad at their job, or at least the commission is. But, I mean, you would have to be literally really bad at your job to make some of the calls and decisions. And it's not – you guys seen my fights and stuff like that. But it wasn't just me, man. They have done this to other fighters. And it's – you know what I mean? I'm not the only one. I'm just the only one that has – that's been voicing my opinion and not willing to let them just push me and bully me around. You know what I mean? Like, I really wasn't even confident enough to say or speak about this until I was in America. That's the kind of power I felt they had over me. So yeah, man, I don't want to say they're just inexperienced, because I don't think that's the case. That would just be an excuse. And if inexperience was the excuse, then they know they did wrong, and obviously they should fix it, because that was the wrong call. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned that you weren't the only one that experienced it. I know you also went out there with another guy who's originally from here in Michigan that trains out at Extreme Couture, Justin James. Did any of the other guys that you guys were on that team with experience anything similar to what you had going on, or?
Not so much the calls, like the refereeing. They experienced similar things with the promotion as far as the contracts and things like that. I'd like to focus more on just the commission, because obviously that's what's most important to me.
For sure.
They've done some serious criminal activity behind the scenes in SFL, but Justin fought a guy that was 20 pounds heavier than him.
Wow.
You know what I mean? I don't even think that would ever pass in America's commission or something like that.
Well, that was the first thing I noticed, huge. Though, is they all, it just seemed like everybody they had on that other team, they all were so much bigger.
They were all bigger. People are messaging me, Indians are messaging me, telling me that none of the Indians make weight. I've never been able to see any of my opponents weigh in. Just all sorts of things that I was, you know what I mean, that just seem a little off. I know steroids are very easily obtained over there, you know what I mean, but these are all just accusations. I can't sit there and say this guy was, doing this and that.
Right, for sure.
But it is no secret that you can just walk into a pharmacy and that these guys are super jacked. I could say there's a lot more weightlifting going on than MMA training going on out there. In fact, they never even gave us an MMA training or an MMA facility to even train at. We had to train by the pool.
Wow.
Pretty bad for 4 weeks. You know what I mean? How are you going to bring people out for 4 weeks and not give them any place to train? But besides that, you know what I mean? I wouldn't say that because they were only allowed to fight one fight. Justin was brought in as a backup, which seems a bit strange that they would bring him in, why he would come out knowing that he was just a backup and may not fight at all. But my other opponent got cut in training, and he saw what happened to me, and he made the thing saying there's no way that he's going to fight after. And it was a small cut, but so was mine.
Right.
So he's like, dude, if they stop my fight over this, yeah, right. Like, and he just watched me get screwed. He's like, there's no way. And his was just above his eye. I mean, this thing was tiny, and it healed up. But if he took like a jab to it, and it came out and it split open a little bit, like, you know what I mean?
Right.
So,
well, let's talk about that. Let's talk about the cut that you had in your fight. Basically, the fight was stopped because you got a cut, which does happen, but usually it's a fight. I mean, it's a cut that's like right above the eye,
impairing your vision.
Yeah, impairing your vision, or if the cut is just that, it
needs to infect my fight. It needs to have some sort of affecting the fight in some sort of way. That's the only way a cut should stop the fight,
right,
is if it's affecting the fight in some way.
Yeah, but yours was like on the side of your head, like almost like near your ear, right?
It was behind my ear. Behind my ear, and it was about half an inch long, if that.
Right. And
the ref and the doctor, if you watch the fight, it took like over the 1 minute break, and they were so confused. It wasn't that they're confused; they weren't speaking English, so it's hard for me to say what they were saying.
Right.
Basically, what I was told was the doctor goes, "Oh, it needs stitches," and I'm just sitting here in my head thinking like, yeah, it's a fist fight. A lot of things need stitches. Like if this cut were anywhere else, would you stop the fight? Like it wouldn't make any sense.
Right.
I mean, I realize it's on my head, but it's not affecting the fight. And if it were on my knee, it's not affecting the fight. If it were on anywhere else, you know what I mean? And the fact that it was on my head, it doesn't really that still doesn't make sense. But there's other fighters and fights on that same card and the next day that had gashes and chunks of skin just hanging off their face. And none of those fights. I'm just trying to wrap my head around, like why they want to stop my fight, and in after a fight that I was winning, like it's clear that I was winning the fight.
Right.
The second they had an opportunity to stop the fight, they did, and not only should it have been a no contest, like they gave me a TKO loss. So, you know what I mean? They gave a guy a win that he never even came close to earning. Which is
there any way you can dispute that to try to like get that off of your record, or is like any?
Yeah, I tried, and so I talked to the commission, and I talked to the ref, and I go, "Hey man, this was the wrong call," and he goes, "Yeah, it probably was." I go, "Okay, well, who's the commission?" He goes, "Me."
Oh God.
Like, okay, let's obviously this was wrong, and people are saying it's wrong. Like there hasn't been a single person out of the gazillion views, and I mean it had 60K views in 4 days, and it was in 300 million homes in India and China and stuff like that. They just watched you screw. You just screwed another guy from one of the biggest MMA communities in the world, and you guys just screwed him over on national television. So I tried to appeal it, and he didn't want to admit fault at the time. But he would admit to me, he's like, he wasn't willing to change it on paper. And I was told by Bill and the CEO that they were going to get it to be over appealed. That's how they got me to continue to stay out there. My team owner was like, we're going to get this sorted. That's how they made me end up fighting in the second fight, was on good faith, hoping that they were going to overturn the first fight. So,
wow.
Yeah. People are like, why did you fight in the second fight if they did that to you? I was like, because they told me they were overturning the first one. I didn't realize, I was dealing with a bunch of stuff.
But so,
oh man.
So, quick question that I have is
also the cut. The cut was actually so small. It took 2 staples, and because they didn't know how to stitch, they couldn't figure out how to stitch my head. I was dealing with a bunch of nerds that didn't know what they were doing.
Wait,
in fact,
they didn't know how to stitch?
So small that they couldn't stitch it, so they stapled it. And then I went in like 3 days later and had the staples removed. And they're like, oh, you heal so fast. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Is it that I heal fast, or is it the fact that I never needed staples to begin with? Like, which one? You know what I mean? This is something you could have put surgical glue over. It was seriously that small. And that's what just leads me to believe. Like, the fact that these were taken out 3-4 days after the fight, this guy was, you know what I mean? It never needed anything. It was just an excuse to stop the fight, man.
Right. Well, quick question. Like, seriously, is the referee literally the commission over there, or was that just something he said just to kind of
literally? No, that's literally the case. He's the one.
Isn't that a conflict of interest, though?
You would think so. Not only that, but the guy's been in trouble for calls like this before. This guy refs his own fighters. He'll ref a fight that he's coached, people that he's coached. You know what I mean? This guy's done. This isn't new behavior for Allen, which is like why it's so strange to me that why he wants this publicity. Why wouldn't they want it to go away? It just leads me to believe that something is behind this. Something's a little crooked, because you know what I mean. This is the last thing that this promotion and commission should want. On it, like, why would you not want to fix this? It's clear that these are wrong, and it's only making your name look worse.
Right.
And you told me you were going to fix it. And went back on your word. So,
well, another thing that goes with what you were saying, and this is something Devin and I noticed from the second fight, was, you were talking about how things had seemed corrupted and things. When I listened back to the video that even Super Fight League put on their Facebook, which had like the whole episode, like when they stopped the second fight for they're saying you're not defending.
They showed me walking off.
Well, it shows you jumping out of the cage, but like when you got kicked the second time, because there was the one.
Where did he get kicked?
Got kicked in the dick. But anyways.
Oh, ring the bell.
Ring the bell. But anyways, so when you got kicked the second time, you can hear the American commentator clearly say like, "Hey, that clearly looked like it was a low shot," and immediately almost is like. And I can't, obviously I wasn't there, so I don't know, but it was almost as if it sounded like somebody from the back is like telling him like to dispute it right away, because the guy was like, oh, I need to see another angle. I need to see another angle. Right. That looked like a clean shot to me, like as quickly.
Yeah, the other guy?
Yeah. And it was like he was trying to dispute
it. That guy
was
always against me the entire, like I've noticed that. He didn't want to, which just also seemed really, really strange to me too. The American commentator reached out to me numerous times and goes, he just feels so bad. He's like, man, it's like, I really don't even know what to say. This is so wrong. If there's anything I can do. And I was like, I'm not really sure there's anything you can do other than just help me spread the word and just, knowing that you're on my side is enough. But he's like, dude, I couldn't believe it. It blew his mind.
Oh, you could definitely tell. You could definitely tell when he was talking, because you could tell he seemed flustered, and like every time he would go to say that, you could tell the Indian guy was like trying to shut him down.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Which also leads me to believe, what am I supposed to think? It only just looks more like corrupt and more, more biased. I don't know how else to look at it after, seeing those things. I've never seen a fight stop and go the other way from a groin shot. Other than that guy, he's got 3 stoppages to the groin, and 2 of them are wins.
Wait. He's got 3.
Is there any way you could talk to like the creators of the show or anybody who had anything to do with the filming or making the show? Or
I've reached out to Amir Khan, and I've talked to Bill. He's the CEO. He just actually released an interview. Which is probably the worst thing he could have done, because it just made him look worse. He's actually now siding with the commission, and it's like he shouldn't have sided with anybody, because that's just like a conflict of interest. Especially when he had already admittedly publicly into people and witnesses that he was in favor of my saying that those were bad calls. So now he's in favor of the commission, and just saying that, just kind of making an interview in general just shows that I'm getting to him, and the fact that he thinks that he needs to speak about it. I mean, you can go watch the interview that he posted about me, and guy's just lying through his teeth, man. And I messaged him right away, and I was like, dude, like, this just made you look worse. Every time they said my name, he looked away from the camera. It was just a terrible interview, I think, on his part. He's a good speaker. He's good at talking, very soft-spoken, and I think, you know, he was hoping to get a better interview out than that. But I think that was a mistake. And I'm actually glad he did it.
Let me ask you this.
It gave me more.
Well, I just wanted to ask you, do you think this could possibly be the first fight decision to be overturned in court? Like, would you take this to the courts?
See, that's another thing. They said something about taking legal actions against me for tarnishing their name, and I don't care. I mean, go ahead, because I got plenty of proof that you guys are criminal, and you know, then we could talk about my fights. Because the thing in India, though, man, is they don't really have a government. It's just more of like whoever has money has power out there.
Wow.
So I don't really know where this would go. But they tried to threaten me with saying I was tarnishing their name, when the fact is I'm not really saying anything bad about them. It's everybody else.
Well,
I'm laying out the facts, and I'm not saying anything that's not true. So you can do whatever you want with
Well,
it. I can only say what I suspect.
didn't you tell, you know, another thing that I wanted to ask about, you know, that you had mentioned before, was it before the first fight or the second fight, didn't they tell you and have you make weight and then tell you, no, you're not fighting, and then come back, like, was it like 24 hours later and then have you fight? I mean, that's like...
That was the third fight.
And real quick.
That was 3 weeks in a row. So they actually had me get ready for a second fight, and they told me the day before the fight that I'm not fighting. So I cut weight, was on weight. And the third week, I got ready again, I'm on weight this time, waiting to weigh in, and they go, oh, you're not fighting. So I just eat, you know, a normal whatever diet, and then they call me at like 3 in the afternoon or 4, telling me that I need to make weight again or go in and do all this shit. I'm like, man, I really don't feel comfortable competing, but I felt bullied into doing this decision because my team owner wanted me to fight. He's trying to make it look like he gave me a second opportunity. That's not the case, man. I was playing with them, and if I didn't fight, who knows what could have happened to me. They would have just found another way to, you know what I mean, screw with me or do something more. I mean, that whole thing was just screwing with me.
Did it seem like the owner was on the take? Your team owner was on the take?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. I know that he wanted me to fight, and I was like, look, man, because they knew that if my team owner knew that if I didn't fight and my team, the chances of our team furthering in the competition was like slim to none. So they needed me to fight, which is like the only reason why I did it.
Right.
And they knew that too, though. But I'm wondering if they knew they were going to have me fight the whole time, and they were just messing with me, because it just doesn't make sense to say, oh, you're not fighting. Oh, now you're fighting. I just don't get it.
Yeah.
And then tell me to make weight, go cut weight after just binge eating and just eating whatever. You know, I just dieted 3 weeks in a row. I wanted to eat, you know what I mean? And I was really pissed off. I'm not saying I was like going crazy and eating, but I was definitely not eating like I was about to go fight. That's for sure.
Wait,
you know what I mean?
Didn't they have you fasting for like 3 days or something like that too?
Yeah. So when I got in off a 36-hour flight. I left on a Saturday, didn't get there till Tuesday morning. So Tuesday morning, Monday night. So Monday night, so Tuesday morning, they said, oh, you got to do medicals. And so we're fasting all day. We wake up and they're like, oh, we got to do a photo shoot. So we didn't stop. We didn't get to eat till like 3 in the afternoon. And they're like, oh, it's too late. We'll do medicals tomorrow. And this fight's on a Friday. So now it's Wednesday. And then we're waiting all day. And they just don't answer their phone. We go, are you guys coming to take us to do medicals or what? We have to wait there.
Right.
We're just sitting there waiting for this van. And they go, oh, the van broke down. Just excuses, man. Like,
wow.
You're going to tell me you couldn't send another car or whatever crap they could, you know what I mean? So we just fasted 2 days in a row. So they make us finally do it the day of our weigh-in. So we weigh in, already fasting, then we can't even eat after we weigh in. I spent 8 hours in the hospital, didn't get home till about 9 in the afternoon the day of weigh-in, and the fight was the next day.
Wow.
3 days in a row.
Well,
so that's what I'm saying when it felt like they could literally just screw with us and do whatever they wanted. And what were we supposed to do? You know, and honestly, man, that's like the last thing I care about. It's just the these results are affecting my life. Like I'm back home now. I could give two shit, but these results are affecting me, and they're wrong. They're criminal acts, man.
So we know that you've got to teach here in a minute, but the last thing I wanted to ask you, you know, what if anything would you want to get? What would be your message for that you want to get out to people as far as the whole situation, the fights, and all that stuff? And then finally, you know, what's next for you now that you're back home? Like, what's your next plan of action? Do you plan on trying to fight soon, or are you going to try to kind of get your faculties back about you?
You know, honestly, like, it's been kind of overwhelming because, you know, I'm now 10-5 because of this. You know, I was already really upset being 10-3. I felt like that was a tough blow. I know I'm better. I know I'm better than a 10-3 fighter, and that was already difficult to swallow. Being 10-5 really hurt, and you know, just having the things that were done, I seriously considered, like, you know, I don't want to say quit fighting, but it definitely took a blow, and you know, I just feel like I've given the sport so much. I've been fighting since I was 18. You know, I fought for Joe when I was just a kid, still in high school, and I just feel like I've given so much with, you know, so little in return. And don't get me wrong, I enjoy this life, and being able to compete is a blessing, but you know, it's difficult just to put your body through this, get hit in the head, and you know, I don't really have much to show for it other than, you know, some sweet experiences. But I'm not going to let SFL be the end of me, though. And that I've made that decision, you know, recently. I'm not going to let these criminals be that, you know, determine my fate in the sport. I think if I'm good, and that will show. And eventually I'll bounce back, you know, hopefully quicker than I would like to. But, I'm not going to let SFL be the end, and I feel like if I'm good enough, it'll, you know, I'll find a way back. You know, good, you know, winners win, and that's the bottom line. Like, if I'm good, I'll win fights and I'll get noticed. As far as what's next, our message, you know, people, this only works if you guys tag who's responsible and message these people and let them know. You know what I mean? Like, listen to this and be like, you know, good interview, man. We agree with you. Like, that's sweet, man. Trust me, I appreciate it more than you guys know, but it doesn't help if they don't know it. You know what I mean? You guys got to be vocal. You got to let them know. They're not checking these threads, but if you're tagging them and you're in their face, they probably like blocked me by now. You know what I mean? That's where the damage is, because these tagging these people and commenting on their posts in SFL, the guys held responsible, Alan Fernandez, Daniel Isaac, these are the guys that are hurting me. These are the guys that can overturn the decision and are choosing not to.
Right.
Bill, you know what I mean? MTV for, you know, being a part of something so shady. You know, it's
man.
important.
Tell MTV to bring back music videos.
Yeah. They need to. Yeah, the fighting game ain't for them. I'll tell you that right now.
Well, we appreciate you coming on with us, man, and anything we can do to try to, you know, help you get the word out and all that stuff. And I mean, I've been watching you since the amateurs, man. So you're definitely, I mean, you're definitely gonna bounce back from it. Who knows? Maybe we can see you when we're live doing the show at TXC or something like that, man. But anything we can do to help you out or anything like that, man. I mean, you've got my contact info. Let me know if there's anything I can do, and you know, keep us posted on how the.
I appreciate it.
Problem, man.
I want to, you know, thank you guys for just giving me a platform to speak. You know, that speaks volumes, and I think that's really cool that you guys reached out and decided to help me. It means a lot to me to be able to help, you know, share this and help share my story. So you know, thank you guys. Like, I appreciate it. And, you know, just share this. Tell your homies to share it, and tell your homies to share it.
No problem, man. We'll definitely have to link up and maybe have you in studio with us once you get back over here in the mitten.
Yeah, I'll be in town soon. I'll definitely reach out.
Cool, man.
And why don't you go ahead and throw your social media out there for people so they can, you know, follow you and find out more about you.
Vince Murdoch. Everything. Instagram, Facebook, it's all the same. Twitter, Vince Murdoch. You know, sponsors, Dr. Patino's been taking care of me since, you know, I was, again, in my teens. So shout out to him. And just everybody at NCT. You know, congrats, Jason Fisher. Just got his
Hell yeah! Shout out to Fisher.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, man. I've known Fisher a real long time ago. I mean, I remember watching him fight when I was just a young guy.
Same here.
Jesus, that. Yeah. So, Yeah, man. Thanks for having me. This has been awesome.
All right, thanks a lot, man. Go ahead and teach that
coming,
class, man, and we'll be in contact.
All right, looking for a fight. Keep me posted.
Cool, brother.
Find me somebody.
Shit.
Bye.
Talk to Joe.
All right, we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be right back to talk a little bit of wrestling.
Class, what?
What?
Who?
Hey, who's that voice we hear? Who's this guy?
Ladies and
Ain't even
gentlemen,
no glass in the studio. What are y'all talking about?
what's going on, everybody? This is the Motor City Mouthpiece
I
himself.
stole your bit, Tony. I stole your bit.
No, that was your bit first.
Well, he stole it from me, and I stole that bitch back.
Your original bit was
What did I
Chips
steal?
saying you're gonna kick somebody in the dick and wearing bedazzled jeans.
Whoa. My
Who
shit's not
the fuck
bedazzled.
You
wearing
wore them-
bedazzled jeans? Who wearing Robin
Look-
jeans?
look-
First of all,
look back in the
shout out to
photos.
Trevor Kyle for being in the building back-to-back weeks. This is history
Hot damn.
in the making.
Ain't that some shit?
This man is back in full effect, and this is a record. We know that the record will only last for 2 weeks, but the fact that he's been there 2 weeks in a row is damn good.
Yes, sir.
It was a lot longer before you came aboard, sir. Look at the
Oh,
old
you gotta say
throwback
about that?
footage.
What
Look
you
at the
say?
old road.
What you say? I'm the reason that you won't come.
You're the
What you
Kelly.
saying?
Whoa.
You're the
Hold up.
Michelle of the group, so I mean.
Wow.
That
So,
was a-
Mr. Campbell, why don't you throw your social media out there?
For everybody listening, you can find me at Team Chaos on Twitter and Instagram, and Kyle J. Campbell on Facebook. I am the Motor City Mouthpiece.
All right.
There's
So,
a lot of foam in that.
it is, man.
beverage.
But, hey, it's still beer.
Wakanda forever.
Yes, sir. Yeah, we're going to talk a little bit of wrestling. Real quick, Randy, I know this is unprofessional, but how much time do we have?
He don't know. He don't know.
And he's eating.
20 minutes.
12
minutes. All right. We got 20 minutes, so we'll
For
talk.
those of you who can see the live, yes, that is me holding a teddy bear, pre-braids and post-beard.
Wait, what?
Just wanted to let y'all know that. Yeah, pull up the live stream. You'll see me right there
I was
holding a
showing
teddy
that
bear,
to you. And
popping
what
out
in
the
the
corner of your
fuck were you
screen.
just doing?
Oh, that was good. Some good alcohol.
He sent me a picture to use since he's not here in person.
Good God, dude.
So I,
Tony, you missed it, man. You'll have to watch the live feedback. Kyle was just having a seizure over this alcohol.
Whew, that shit was strong. It was pretty good, though.
I
Tastes like
saw
cotton
it.
candy.
He says too much. He said it's the podcast juice is too strong. The juice is strong within this.
The juice is loose. All right, let's talk a little wrestling.
Moving to
Let's talk a little wrestling, fella. Let's talk about
If I did it.
the big news of the day. The Velveteen
Oh, yeah.
Dream got a T-shirt. Goddammit!
About damn time.
Wait.
What?
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 Let me announce the big news of the day.
Uh-oh.
I'm not in studio. Can I announce the big news of the day?
No.
The Velveteen Dream got a T-shirt. That's the big news.
No. The big news is we all know who got cleared. Ladies and gentlemen, Big Cass is back.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that too.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that too. But anyway, the American
mean
Dragon
that
has
too?
been cleared to fight. Ladies and gentlemen, can we get? Do we have it? Do we have applause?
We got a round of applause.
do we have applause?
We got a round of
we
applause.
do. Let me cue it up.
Okay.
No,
Okay.
we can
I
Ladies
mean,
and gentlemen,
let me gather the audience to applaud.
Okay.
ladies and gentlemen, the American Dragon Daniel Bryan has been cleared to
Brian
return.
Danielson, actually.
Yay!
That's not his WWE name. It ain't Prince Devlin and Tyler Black.
Devlin, motherfucker, you're just as bad as The Miz.
He went by that too. But anyway,
Okay.
yes. So Daniel Bryan is back. The
Daniel
Yes
Bryan
Movement
was never
is.
the American Dragon.
Yes, he was.
Yeah, he was.
I in case he hears this, I
Brian
didn't say that.
Danielson was the American Dragon.
That's what I. Okay, you
Daniel
missed.
Bryan.
You missed the part where I was just telling him
Same
before
dude.
the applause went on. I was
Well,
like,
see, what
"Well,
happened
you
is
mean
when
Brian
Randy played the
Danielson?"
applause, I couldn't hear nothing. Just
That's
like the
because they
song
went-
that was playing at
that's because it
halftime,
was-
I couldn't hear.
Oh, he was playing that Jinder Mahal theme song.
The Jinder Mahal Hamtramck
Computers
Get
are
Down.
hard.
Pause.
But
That's
who
what
getting
R2D2
hard?
said.
But real quick,
Ring the bell.
real quick, what do you guys think about Brian? Well, damn, I wasn't calling Brian Danielson. Daniel Bryan being back.
I'll go last because I have something to bring up. I wanna
Mr.
bring
Thunder, your thoughts on
Well,
Daniel
okay,
Bryan?
I see I got to go first.
Yeah,
I
get you out
think
the
we
way.
all think the same thing. We fucking hate it, right? Right, guys? Right? Am I right? Come on, guys.
Randy, crickets.
No.
No,
we should have you behind the board, man.
seriously. I mean, as a fan,
Okay.
I can't wait to see it. The possibilities are endless.
Rufio?
Him versus Nakamura. Him versus AJ Styles. Him versus Jinder Mahal. Him versus John Cena again. Him versus Dolph Ziggler again. Him versus Kevin Owens. Him versus
gonna go
Sami
through the whole
Zayn.
roster?
Like him versus Bobby Roode. I wasn't
Ooh.
done.
I like
him
that one.
That's a
versus
good one.
Ty Dillinger. Okay, I'm done.
Mr. Collison, your thoughts on Oh, he's eating.
He's eating. Oh, are you eating, Kyle? You're eating.
Yep.
Did we catch you at a bad time?
I'm sorry. I thought we were doing the podcast, not eating dinner.
The Fritos are holding my tongue.
Hey, Fritos
but-
are listening. We will take that as
Whoa.
sponsorship
Anyway,
and Coca-Cola.
I love
Somebody
it, dude.
Coles was holding his tongue.
Yeah, I said the
told you that in
Fritos
your
were holding
tongue?
my tongue.
Whoa.
But anyway,
Go ahead,
You
Kyle.
a freak, ain't you?
anyways, I mean, as far as Daniel Bryan coming back, dude, I think it's a great thing, man. Like, I've been hoping for a while. As soon as I had heard that the news had broke that he was allegedly had been cleared,
Backdoor Royal Rumble.
yeah, and that's the thing. Like,
What's this about backdoors?
Yeah.
but yeah, man, I'm just happy to see the guy back. I mean, not just because I'm a fan of Daniel Bryan, but at the
Rails
same time, man,
and the show.
at the same time, man, just for the fact that, the guy's dream got taken from him. So I'm excited for all the possibilities that are coming. And like I said, probably however long ago it was on the show, you can go ahead and check out the archives, which you should be doing anyway. I
At
said
knockouts3counts.com.
KO3CPod.com. Hot damn it, at least tell them the right website.
If they hit that, it should redirect
This
them.
is what happens when you don't come to shows, Tucker Kyle.
It does.
It does not.
See, Kyle, you're sending them to the
Once
wrong
again,
place.
That's KO3CPod.
And that was Pepper Kyle, not White Kyle, that did that shit.
If you want to pony up
Anyway.
to $15, we could probably buy Knockout.
I said pepper cow.
Counts that.
No, I didn't mean you. I meant I was just
that's what,
clarifying for the
475 a
listeners.
guy?
Mr. Collison, please finish your point. sir.
Anyways, to finish my point, man.
Go ahead, soft cow. Tell them the
You say
news.
soft?
Sugar cow.
Oh,
Just, whoa.
Sugar cow.
Anyways, yeah, I just like I
Go
said, man.
ahead, sugar. Tell them what you're saying.
I've been trying to. If Chaos over here had shut his dick trap,
all right, Sugar.
What?
That's your, hey, you know that's your new nickname, right? You know we ain't letting that shit go, right?
but yeah, man.
Sugar
I'm,
cow.
hey, man. Hey, I'm a fan
Go
of
ahead,
it, dude,
Sugar. Tell
and
him. Go ahead, tell
I'm
him.
excited for the possibilities that can come from it. And
that
I
on
think
the
he's
shirt.
gonna end up kicking Shane McMahon's head off at WrestleMania.
Ooh,
All right, Mr. Chaos, what's your thoughts on
We all know
Mr.
that.
Daniel Bryan?
I hate it. I never liked him. I'm joking. This is one of the best pieces of
How you
wrestling
gonna feel my
news.
joke that I just did, and then hold on,
Can we
bruh.
cut his
Hold on,
feed?
bruh. Stop depressing.
This is one of the best pieces
I
of
literally
news
just
of
did
wrestling
that.
we've had this year. I'm just gonna treat this like this is Anderson Cooper 360. I'm just gonna keep talking. This is honestly some of the best stuff I've heard because I've always been a fan of Daniel Bryan and Bryan Danielson. I've been a fan of his. This actually finally injects some energy into SmackDown Live. You now have the biggest babyface in the company headlining SmackDown Live. Even now,
Who, John Cena?
and you got too many heel tendencies.
John
This
Cena?
actually makes it interesting to watch because once he comes, and becomes a active wrestler again, even if it's a part-time thing like Triple H or
I was gonna say I don't
anybody,
see him going
e-
full
e-
time.
even yeah, I'm saying even if he does it every 3 months, even
Oh,
if
he
he just
will
does
be.
the
He
old
will
school
be.
Big Four,
He'll be full time.
him in the ring able to give and take bumps, that opens up so many possibilities.
What's a bump?
I
What's a
hope
bump,
he
Pepper
fucks
Cow?
the Miz up. Just
That-
saying
the
that.
thing is that's what I was getting to. I have 5 matches that are now possible with him back, and they've already planted the seeds for all of them.
Run them down real quick.
Number 1, you have The Miz versus Daniel Bryan. The Miz still is copying a lot of Daniel's moves, and they still have that promo that technically reinvigorated The Miz. Are you okay over there? Are you kicking cans or something?
You all right, man?
I'm dying. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Are you getting stabbed or something? Do we need to alert the police? You have The Miz and Daniel Bryan.
Right.
That's
All right, that's one.
that's a top 3 pay-per-view match. That would be a good match on any of the top.
That'd be a great SummerSlam
That'd be a good
match.
SummerSlam match. That'd be a good Rumble match.
Okay, let's go ahead and do number 2.
Now you have kind of something I never thought I'd see: Daniel Bryan versus Shinsuke Nakamura.
That's a great one. That's a
You
great one.
got 2 guys that have been. I mean, obviously Nakamura has come from Japan, but Daniel Bryan, he's
been over there a
He's
few
well
times.
traveled.
Yep.
He's well traveled.
Yeah.
What?
You have a
And
match.
Nakamura also said
that-
something on Twitter earlier alluding to working with him, in case for those who didn't know. Or see it.
You have a match that, for guys who are fans of the Indies, it happened once. I think it was 2007. AJ Styles.
That's 3.
versus Daniel Bryan.
That's a great one.
I said that earlier. I said all of this earlier.
That is honestly that's
I said all
possibly
of this
next
earlier.
year's WrestleMania match right there. That's next year's WrestleMania main event, barring Roman Reigns getting another main event, which he probably will. Other than that, this could be the
Excuse me, don't
true
disrespect Roman
main event.
All right, that's number 4.
Something that I didn't think I wanted to see, but I really do. Sami Zayn and Daniel Bryan.
Okay. El Generico versus
El
Bryan Danielson.
Generico coming out.
Allegedly.
El Generico coming from the
Y'all
orphanage.
Go stop doing that, okay? Y'all go stop doing that.
And he can
El
actually-
Generico died in a house fire, saving children in Tijuana.
And the thing is,
He is no longer alive, okay?
not if when
Cut the
Sammy
shit.
gets boring again, you put the mask on him finally,
Okay.
and you reinvigorate him.
What
Because
mask?
that's why I said before he did the heel turn, and it's on tape if you listen to some of our
What the heel
throwbacks,
turn?
including the throwbacks we have on the All Stake No Sales podcast. I said the best way to use Sami Zayn, put that mask back on him. Now you have a way to do that.
What mask are you talking about?
Anyway.
And what's your number 5, man? And then we're gonna got another topic to get
I'm gonna say him versus Cena again. If you want to
Oh, well,
cement
now you wanna give
somebody
Cena credit.
taking over
Not
as,
Seth
if you
Rollins,
want a
not
passing
him
of the
versus Seth
torch,
Rollins,
because it's
not
not
him versus
happening.
I mean,
with
I would love to
Roman.
see him versus
Roman,
Seth
him
Rollins.
versus Cena.
I just want that.
I want-
known.
That's why I'm like, well, I'd rather see him versus AJ before I see Seth. You know, so but like I said, now with him, quote unquote, back, you can throw him in the ring with a broom, and he'll make a good match.
Well, real quick, the one I want to see is Bryan
I
versus
think
Finn
you're giving
Balor.
way
I
too
think that'd be
much
a
credit.
great match.
I don't know if they could tap the one they had. Oh no, I'm
Him and Seth?
No, Finn Balor. That's the one I want to see.
Him and Finn would be dope. I said
That
that,
would-
earlier.
that-
Thank
that
y'all
would-
for
that would-
ruining everything.
You
that I
can't
said
throw
earlier and
50
just, like,
conspiracies out and then get
disregarding
credit when
everything
one
that
of them
I've
sticks
said.
to the wall.
Okay, let's move on. All right, next topic. Something I definitely want to bring up on the show.
Titties.
Well, we can always talk about. Never mind. Hey, this must be the Christian show because we.
Oh my God! Here we go.
If this was a
Christian
Christian
show,
show,
what you
Tony
waiting
would
on,
no
Jesus?
longer be allowed on the show. He wouldn't be allowed near the studio.
So speaking of Christian people, let's talk
Who,
about
me?
Fabulous Moolah.
Ooh.
Oh,
Hey, can we get some applause for
Okay,
that?
look,
That's
I'm
one
just
hell
saying,
of a
look, look,
segue. For
look,
those
can I-
watching
can I-
on
can I
camera, I'm
start
going to give
this?
him a too sweet for that.
Pepper
That is
Pepper
how
Cow.
you do a
Pepper
segue.
Can I start this, please?
Wait, hold on. I gotta wait for the applause, Dan. What was that?
Okay.
Something you've
All
always
I want
wanted
to
to
say is, when it comes to Fabulous Moolah, if a hoe won't sell her ass, a pimp will. All right.
And ladies and gentlemen, this is the Christian show.
Oh boy.
Well played. Well played, Mr.
I
Well,
Ram
for,
Thunder.
for those of you listening and watching that don't know, you know what? Get the
Google
bell.
it.
Wait, get the bell ready. So, me and Kyle were at Monday Night Raw here in Detroit, and that's what. And that's where they announced that the women were going to have a battle royal, and it was going to be the Fabulous Moolah battle royal. They had a whole video package, and they'll talk about how great she was. A lot of the talents talked about how great the Fabulous Moolah was, and they showed the trophy that they were going to get for winning the women's battle royal. And a couple of days later, they said, you know what? We're taking her name off of there because basically Fabulous Moolah was a piece of shit as a human being.
I honestly think she's probably one of the biggest marks on the wrestling industry now. When you look back through the annals of this industry,
Right.
her name's gonna be up there, and it's not gonna be.
Well, dude, with how readily
That's two N's in annals, not anal.
correction.
oh
Being
boy.
back doors and anals.
Just clarifying.
But I mean, with how readily available, like information is nowadays, man. Like, if you actually do any of your research, like, man, the shit that she did and got away with, it's just.
Hey,
I'm shocked that they actually put her name on that.
look, like
I cannot believe
I-
that
that
they
was-
thought.
Wait.
I cannot
Hold up.
believe they put
Hold
her
up.
name
Let
on
me
that.
say this right quick. Let
Well-
me just say this.
That's
man.
an understatement.
Go ahead, Tony.
Because a lot of y'all, man. Well, I'm not gonna say a lot of y'all because I can't speak for y'all, but I see it online, man. Most of the people who are complaining about Moolah's name being mentioned as in the Battle Royal are the same people complaining about Chris Benoit and China not being in the Hall of Fame. Do you not realize that you complaining about Moolah's name having a Battle Royal in her honor fucks over China and Benoit ever being in the Hall of Fame? Fucking Superfly Snooker got away with murder. He's a fucking Hall of Famer. Mike Tyson was a alleged rapist. He's in the Hall of Fame. Snoop Dogg smoked more weed than California itself. This nigga's in the Hall of
they
Fame.
ain't gonna hold the
Donald
weed
Trump
against
grabs
him.
pussy and cheats on his wife with porn stars. This nigga's in the Hall of Fame.
That was before
Do
he was
y'all
in the
not
Hall of Fame.
realize that if you look at your hero, you go find a deep history and dark history. The only person who I say probably doesn't have any fucked up legacy is John Cena.
Just wait.
Like Hogan had a fucked up legacy.
The Chris
Rock
Benoit
did some
thing.
fucked up shit.
To me, I honestly think once Vince and Kevin have retired, I'll say by 2024, I think
It'll never happen.
Dude,
he'll
never
start.
I mean,
think-
don't get me wrong. I was a huge Benoit fan, but dude, with the way that went down, you can't put him in the Hall of
It'll
Fame.
never happen.
But here's
It'll
my
never happen.
and Tony,
Especially with
hey,
fans
hey,
complaining
Tony.
about something as stupid as fucking Moolah.
Hey, Tony, you and me kind of had this debate on in the group, man. If you're gonna have a morality clause, you're gonna basically no one's gonna end up in that fucking Hall of Fame.
You've got a good point.
Exactly.
Like Like, okay,
You can't retroactively take people back either. So like,
but here's
like
the
the
thing.
Orange Oompa Loompa in office, you can't
They took
retroactively
Hogan back
take
they
him
took
out.
Hogan out.
I didn't know-
he's
They
gonna
took
come
Hogan
back.
out of the Hall of Fame.
You know
Technically, he's
gonna-
not in the Hall of Fame.
You know he's
so
gonna come
wait,
back.
so if that's the case, if they're gonna take Hogan out, hey, China's not in the Hall of Fame for what reason?
There you go.
She did porn, right?
Porn.
So that means Sonny should be taken out too, right?
No. Not only did she just do porn, she did the nastiest porn you can find
Here
on
he
the
goes.
internet.
Here he goes.
She had a
Here we-
fake
Challenge
Hulk Hogan
accepted.
come down an entrance ramp to her bed and sucked off a fake Hulk Hogan. She sucked off a fake Triple H and The Rock and every other nigga that walked down that
So you're
entrance ramp to
saying
her
you've
bedroom.
seen the footage?
Didn't
Well,
have it.
dude, and here's one better. Even if we're just talking about wrestling stuff, dude, she tried to sell off her ring, and it was all over the Hall of Fame ring. She tried to.
Who, Sonny?
Everybody sells. the
Yeah,
damn
but she
But
ring.
no,
made
Sonny-
she
Sonny-
made a whole big deal like of.
I think
Who,
Sonny got
Sonny?
arrested like literally
Yeah.
like last month. for
Yeah,
something.
she did. She
But
did.
no,
She did. She got arrested last month.
Here's the thing: Sonny didn't do porn until after she was in the Hall of Fame.
But my thing is this: if you can retroactively take people out, and you're saying you're not putting China in because she did porn, take Sonny out.
It's not just because she
Yeah,
did
it was-
porn.
I honestly,
She did
the first
porn with
person that goes out is
WWE
Snuka.
based off characters. She had a fake Hogan.
Okay.
Nut in her face.
Oh my god!
But Tony,
Don't you
Tony,
just love having him on the show?
but Tony, here's my thing: if you say, hey.
None of your friends are watching this.
Triple H literally said on the network
act
the
like
reason
the
why
only
China's
friends I
not
have
in there
are
is
from the
because if
church,
one of his
fool.
kids Googles China, porn's going to come up. What's going to come up when you do
Yep.
Sonny?
Oh
When
god!
you go, no,
I
can tell
did
you
that
what
a
comes
couple
up when you
days ago.
Google
It's
Sonny.
fun.
Her
Do it.
arrest record comes up.
Well, take her out too. She gets arrested every 3 months, and she
Mm-hmm.
did porn. All I'm saying is,
Okay.
look, all I'm
Okay,
saying is
what's
like
gonna
the
come up-
W.
What's gonna come up when you look up Jimmy Superfly Snuka? He
He's a
murdered his
murderer.
wife and got away with it.
Hey, take him out too. That's my point. If
So
you're
what
if you're go,
you gonna end up. The only person that's gonna be in the Hall of Fame is Bruno Sammartino and John Cena when you're done.
hey Tony, I agree with you.
Rock.
If you're going to do the morality clause, you're
Stone
going to
Cold.
have to do it across the board.
Edge.
So with the Fabulous Moolah thing,
Damn
No,
right.
this is
like going back
this
to
is
the
what I'm saying.
go ahead.
Yeah, I was just about to get to that. If fans complaining about Fabulous Moolah, what makes you think that the WWE would give China the time of day?
My point is this:
That's all
the
I'm saying. I think that if the fans didn't complain about Moolah, didn't say nothing and left it alone, the WWE very well could have had China in the Hall of Fame. But because they
Tony,
had such a backlash, do you think they would risk having another backlash with China?
There's
That
a
just
difference in
fucked
the
up
backlash
everything.
from China and Moolah. China, she did porn. Everybody accepted it. They know she only did it because she couldn't wrestle, she couldn't act. Wrestling was her life, so she went to the only thing that was offering her a modicum income. Moolah, for
Modicum? What did it say?
decades was known. It was a backstage fact. It wasn't even a secret. Other people have come out against it, saying how she did pimp people, how she did garnish their wages, how she did basically force them into slavery and sex trafficking.
and the thing that makes it really
Hey, let me tell you
bad
like
is that
this is America. You can't
Wait,
force
wait.
nobody into shit.
Wait, but Tony, hold on. Here's the thing, though. The thing that makes it really, really bad is that they're really pushing this women's revolution, and then you have a woman who,
That's just a backslap.
yeah, that's the thing. Like,
I honestly facepalmed when I heard it. I honestly, not even the emotion.
Look,
I
look,
put
look.
my head down, put my head on, and was like, Jesus, guys, you can't.
hey,
This is my thing. This is my thing. With okay.
Hey, Tony,
Who
real,
honestly knew all of this about Moolah before the marks on the internet made it a big deal. But here's my problem. The marks who made it a big deal are the same marks who said y'all should name
Word
it
of
the
the
China
day.
Battle Royal.
Marks.
Why the fuck does that make sense?
China wasn't pimping people out. She's like,
Look, prostitution is legal porn. The porn is legal prostitution.
Oh.
Let's keep it real.
Still legal.
Porn is legal motherfucking prostitution and legal human trafficking.
Not trafficking. They're not
no,
forcing you to go
because
places.
those women made a choice. There's a difference between making a choice and being forced into a situation.
Coercion.
You got choices?
Coercion.
You telling me a hoe ain't got no
Oh
choice?
my god!
I think we've officially dropped off the rails, wouldn't you say?
I
I've
would
only
say
been
you're
here
probably
20
about
minutes.
right.
Hey, look, Tony. Here's my thing. Honestly, when I saw that package at pause, when I saw the video package at Monday Night Raw,
Whoa, you saw packages?
when I saw the video
You
package
talking
at Monday
about
Night Raw,
UP?
literally
You
my
talking about
reaction was,
UPS?
Packages and backdoors and anal.
Saturday night at the Thunder House.
When we were at Monday Night Raw, we saw the Fabulous Moolah thing.
Tuesday.
Literally, I was like, that's an odd choice, and that was it for me. Like, I'm
I can
surprised.
honestly see
Like,
you
I'm
doing
surprised.
that.
I was like, that was an odd choice. I'm surprised they went with that one,
She's the
and that was it.
longest-running women's
So that's not
champion
your
in
that's your
history.
thing now.
That was my thing. But hey,
She's the longest running women's champion in WWE history.
Yeah, and
I
look
mean,
up
why
and
not
look up the original
battle
screw
royal after
job
her?
when she played what was it, the African Spider or whatever, when she screwed what's her name out the title.
psst, Randy.
God.
Reddy Retcher.
Okay, all right. Well,
Meh.
we'll have to end the show here. I'm sorry, Tony. We'll argue about this another time. Probably on our WrestleMania show, which is coming up in a couple weeks.
Hey, look,
Oh,
before anybody listening misconstrues what I'm saying, what I am saying is China for Hall of Fame, Benoit for
Right.
Hall of Fame.
Right.
Benoit
Stop
for Hall of
fucking
Fame.
complaining about every goddamn thing the Fed does. Y'all fucking complain too fucking much. God damn it.
Doesn't he sound like
All
a
right.
bitter rapper on Hot 97?
Yo, check it, be real talk.
This
I
ain't the
got
Breakfast
bars,
Club.
yo.
Calm the hell down. Take your bandana off. You at home. You at home.
Instagram,
Take your bandana
Tony
off.
_
Take your
Thunder.
bandana off.
Twitter, it's real Tony Thunder, whatever the fuck it is.
You don't even know your
Facebook,
damn Twitter handle. Can't even talk shit about Kevin. You don't even know your Twitter handle. Something.
KOC3pod.motherfucking.com.
Hey, hey,
That's a soundbite.
Hey, Tony, you got any shows coming up this weekend, man?
Not this weekend.
Oh, you,
Dramatic pause.
alrighty.
And there we go.
So, guys, we got anything coming up?
We next week we're
Oh,
bringing.
wait. I do have to say something. Let me say this.
You should see the look on Collins's face.
I just got to say this right quick. Look.
You know what?
care if
I
it's
can
a
tell
bar
what you said in
mitzvah.
your
Wait,
head.
wait.
It was okay to think at that
Wait,
time.
hold on. Let me do this, Pepper. Let me do this, Pepper.
Go.
Let me do this, Pepper.
Go ahead, Tony.
All right, look.
Let him do it, Pepper.
I don't care if it's a bar mitzvah.
Why do I think
don't
of
care
a like
if-
Pippi
I don't-
Longstocking when you say
Huh?
that?
Wait, hold on.
Look.
No, I like
cutting.
cutting him
care
off
if it's
because he just gets so long-winded. It makes him take another breath, and then makes him go on for like another 2 minutes. I like fucking with Tony.
Go ahead,
No.
Tony.
I got this, Pepper. I got this. You with me, Pepper? This 2 weeks running.
So guys,
for you, man. It's
so
a
what we
world
gotta do is
Go
World
ahead.
record, Pepper. All right, look. Bar mitzvahs, birthdays, bachelor parties,
Quinceañeras.
bachelorette parties. We come out of cakes. Whatever you want. RentAWrestlingRing.com. We'll bring the ring to you. We'll set that motherfucker up, and we'll have a show. RentAWrestlingRing.com. Shout out to Merle Ramsley. RentAWrestlingRing.com. Festivus is coming. All right, Pepper Cow, your turn.
who can follow that?
You can. What you got, man?
Shit, I got bills coming up. That's what that's what's coming
You got
up.
bills coming
That's
up.
what the fuck's coming up. I'm gonna have to start doing Uber, Lyft,
Cocaine.
taking up hitchhikers, selling the shit. The white powder.
I'm higher than rent in downtown Detroit.
We all know. Anyway, you can follow me, the Motor City Mouthpiece, on Twitter and Instagram
Who
at Team
gave you the name
Chaos.
Motor City Mouthpiece? That's what I want to know.
Shut the fuck up.
He gave it to him.
And Facebook, Kyle J. Campbell.
You can't give
Collison, go
yourself a
ahead.
nickname,
That's what I
Pepper.
said.
Mr. Collison, what we got coming up, man? And
So
social medias out there.
we've got past guests of the show.
He fought once.
Yeah, I've fought more than once, but anyways, we've got Manib Al
He
Samni.
fought twice.
I fought more than that too, but anyways, we got Manib Al Samni coming on again next week, as well as Marco the Hybrid Smallman, who just was recently on the tryout for the Ultimate Fighter. I'm surrounded by assholes right now, but
Whoa, 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 whoa,
Packages and assholes surrounding Kyle, Sugar Kyle. Hey, Sugar.
Sugar
Tell him
Cow.
your
That's
Instagram.
Sugar Cow. That's his name. Sugar Cow.
hey, but anyway, we're you're in store for a packed show next week. We've got 2 guests in studio with us next week. Be here. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Detroit Knockout, at Detroit NOKOUT, and fuck all y'all.
Wait, go ahead and give the details about our show on the
Fuck your
14th, sir.
couch.
Damn it! Stop stealing my shit, bitch. Anyways,
Okay, you know what? I'm going to kick you in the dick. How about that?
also, while we were talking about our guest next week, don't forget we will be live and in living color at Burton Manor, April 14th for TXC.
Had to been racing
Vince
to
that
it.
was on the show today was TXC's champion in that promotions. So there's a lot of big names that have come out of there. Cody Stamen that we've had on that was in the UFC. He was their champion as well. Jason Fisher that we mentioned getting his black belt. Shout out to Jay Fish. He was their champ too. So a lot of good guys coming out of there. Be great fights. Be there. We'll be in the building.
Alrighty. So real quick, I meant to bring this up in the beginning.
Details
of the show.
on XXCagefighting.com.
Triple X.
Yeah, it's XXX Cage Fighting.
Yeah. We'll leave that alone.
That just
so
yeah, never mind.
real quick, those of you that are looking to watch NXT TakeOver live and in person with some
Come to
people
Devin's
here.
house. He lives at.
Well, wait a minute now. If you want to watch NXT TakeOver with the guys here at Knockouts and 3 Counts
Pay us.
and the fellas from Breaking Down the Ring right here on the
Pay
Podcast
us.
Detroit Network, come to Buffalo Wild Wings downtown. We'll be there watching NXT TakeOver and the UFC fights as well. I think Joanna and Jacek and what else? Who else is on that card?
Rose.
Huh?
Joanna and Rose and then Tony.
Oh yeah, Tony Ferguson and Khabib Nurmagomedov. We'll be there watching the fights and NXT TakeOver. Come on out and have a good time with us. You know, we're going to be collaborating, Knockouts and 3 Counts, and break that. Was it Breaking Down the Ring? I forgot.
Yeah.
Breaking Down the Ring.
There's another podcast show on here too.
It's
They
like
never
7
reached out-
wrestling shows.
Yeah, I know.
But
Void
Yeah.
Wrestling is new too.
yeah, Void Wrestling is here. Hey,
Well, they should be.
Just
they
check
should,
out
they should be
Podcast
trying.
Detroit.
They should be trying to get with us. We some of the bigger dogs. They should. Yeah. 'Cause if y'all listen to us, which y'all should, we listen to some of y'all podcasts here on the Podcast Detroit Network. Reach out to us. We're
Yeah.
easy to find.
all-
We ain't hard.
all-
We ain't
yeah,
hiding.
We all collaborate.
We all family.
We all fam. Podcast Detroit for life.
Yeah.
And if you're interested in starting your own podcast, check out meetup.com/metro-detroit-podcasters to
lot of
learn more
dashes.
about Podcast Detroit's free podcast day right here in the studios. Sign up and get scheduled for a time because times are going fast.
And you can sit in the same
It's
chair as me.
Free. Don't sit in that one. It's smelly.
And you might catch herpes.
Well, I had.
Wow. Herpes?
I don't know.
Really?
It's just the first one that
You gonna
came
wish
to
herpes
mind.
on somebody? And now I don't even know how to transition into this, but fuck it. Hey, if you need a car, go check out SouthfieldQualityCars.com.
Also, go to try Drive Time on Telegraph and Taylor. They do good work also. But go to yours first and use your promo code. But then go, if you can't get nothing there, then you go to Drive Time. Well, I just got my car. They do good work. What's that promo code, Devin?
Thank you for shitting all over my promo. But go to SouthfieldQualityCars.com, and when you check out the inventory, you can go in there and use the reference code 19309. That's 19309.
I've never seen your eyes.
And
get
you
that
will
big.
get what?
I've never seen your eyes get that big. It's getting the shit out of
You will
me.
get $500 off on the purchase of your vehicle. Hey, check me out on Twitter at Devin63. That's DEVINTHE63. Check me out on Instagram at AllSakeNoSizzle.
Do you tweet?
Make sure every now and again.
Are you following me?
Yeah, I think so.
You son of a bitch.
Make sure you check out the website. That's ko3cpod.com. Check out the Facebook page. Like us. And you can check
Like,
out the
share, subscribe. Reality Era News page on Facebook.
Oh yeah, shout out to Kev, man.
Shout out to Kev, man. Yo, we can't see his bald head here right now, but what up, my little brother?
All right, is that it? You got all the stuff out of the way?
Not unless you want to have some therapy conversations or something.
Fuck it, we out of here. Kyle.
Always like a black person.
Fuck
You know-
y'all.